What's up, lifelong learners? It's your boy, Mr. Heng, with another tutorial, and this is what we are learning today. So what are we learning? How to use blur, sharpen, smudge, dodge, burn, and sponge tool. Why are we learning it? To be able to blur, sharpen, smudge, dodge, burn, sponge tool to modify an image. Oh, I spelled N wrong. It's A-N, not A-N-D. All right, math major. You know how we do. How do we know we learned it? When students are able to create a thumbnail for their 1 Minute Me video project and submit on Canvas. Now this is a 2-day process. So today you're just learning the tools to finish learning all the tools. And then you get into creating stuff like this with Photopea. So here's an example of previous student work. You can see here, this is stuff about this student. So what you want to do is you want to showcase who you are, and you can tell this kid's very clean. Okay, like we can tell from his design, it's very clean. You can tell he likes steak, fruit. He's a math nerd like me. He's a photo geek like me, and then he likes statistics. I'm okay with statistics. And then we have someone like this who's definitely different. So we have this former student right here, Lana. She was deciding between NYU or Chapman. I think she ended up going to somewhere in Arizona. And yeah, and she wrote me a nice letter. Maybe I should like show it someday, but she wrote me a really nice letter thanking me for all the stuff I taught her. But yeah, this is stuff you can do. She graduated in 2019. She loves music. She's a cheerleader. She dances. And then there is another student work. This one right here. He just graduated last year. And yeah, I thought this one was really funny because he made it as a driver's license. I think one of the funniest things was Little Cloud Chaser. It was right there. And then the last one right here, she graduated last year as well. And I feel like this one is what I hope all my students will go for, because I feel like this is very artistic. And the only thing that I would comment on is that this word right here, Trinity, her name, it kind of takes away from it. So you might not need her name there, you know what I mean? So I think for me, I would just take this out. But everything else, amazing. Just top-notch, A-quality work right here, you know what I mean? So I hope you go for something like that when you create your thumbnail after learning all these tools. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to create a blank canvas, and then we'll go through all the tools. And then you start working on your 1 Minute Me thumbnail project. All right, and you're going to put stuff like that are like your favorite family members, relatives, friends, hobbies, likes, dislikes. Well, maybe not dislikes, but because we can't tell. Mostly you're going to talk about your likes. Movies, TV shows, sports, work of art, reading, what you're reading, what you like reading, dancing, songwriting, instrument, goals in life. You know, those are things you want to have on your 1 Minute Me thumbnail. Okay? So you can go and make this on Photopea. So I'll start from the beginning. This is where you want to end up. That's an example of what I do for my YouTube. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'll click OK here. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to first open up this practice file right here. And I showed you how to do that last class. So you go ahead and do that. And then you're going to go to File, New, Screen, Full HD. Make sure you just do this, call this one the thumbnail practice, because you're just practicing until you want to do your real one. And if you want to do your real one, then just start your thumbnail project. So thumbnail practice, 1920 by 1080, 7D2 DPI, transparent background, and then click create. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to teach you the tools first. So the first tool we're going to go over is the blur tool. Very straightforward. It blurred things. Like let's say I zoom in on this pigeon right here. Okay, so I do Command ++++, hold the space bar, click and drag, and then I am zoomed in on this pigeon right here. So the blur tool is right here. Click and hold that, and then you'll see the blur tool option. Blur tool can be changed in terms of strength, how blurry you want it to be. Like if I do 100, it'd be like super blurry. Oh, okay, just rasterize. Okay, if I do 100, it's super blurry, right? I do Command Z here. If I do like 20, 10, like 19%, it's less blurry, but you can tell it's blurry. Okay, so I just click and drag around, and that is how you use the blur tool. It's just really easy, and you can change the size of the brush by clicking on and dragging this. You can change the brush, what it looks like. You can change the hardness of the brush. So you can mess around with these settings and then click around and see what happens. Because I think art is more experimental. If I teach you every little detail, you miss out on the experimental part of it, and that is what makes art fun. If you get to experiment, sometimes mistakes become work of art. Okay, so just mess around with that. And then we are going to do the Sharpen Tool. So I'll do Command Z here. Sharpen Tool, same thing. You can change the size, you can change the strength. I'm going to change this to 50. Okay, and then you can check details if you want. You can change by using the bracket sign. Left bracket is smaller, right bracket is bigger. And then I'm going to paint this, and you'll notice that it does get a little bit more sharpened. Okay, but at the same time, it comes with a cost. There's a price you pay. It looks a bit pixelated. Okay, so I'll do Command Z again. If I just brush over it a little bit, just brush over a little bit like that, it sharpens it just a little bit, and you can start to see the pixelation. But sometimes when you zoom back out like this, you can't really see it. And that pigeon, boy, when you look at it in small, it's sharp. But when you blow up the image and you drag and look at that pigeon right there, it looks like it was a bit edited because of everything else around it is not as pixelated. But this is when you pixel peep, and some people in the world do that. I don't really do that. I don't really care for that. But for large prints, you would definitely see this. Okay, next thing is the Smudge Tool. So I'm going to Command Z here so that I can unsharpen. Smudge, same thing. Bracket key makes it bigger, smaller, change the strength. All right. What happens is, when an artist is drawing by pencil, and then they kind of smudge the edges of where the hard lines are, and it kind of blends and smoothing out the gradients. That's what's happening right here. Watch, I'll just blend, click and drag, click and drag. See how I'm smudging this pigeon, and I'm smudging those colored pixels there? Okay, that is smudging. I think it's pretty straightforward, these three tools. So take about like 5 minutes and mess around with these tools, and then move on with the video when you feel comfortable. But I'm gonna keep going because I don't want to have to edit. So next thing here is the Dodge tool. The Dodge tool, if you read what I wrote right here, it's pretty much going to lighten the image. And the Burn tool, when you burn something, it turns dark, crispy, and it just gets darker. Okay, so Burn is darken, and then Sponge is to soak up the colors of what looks saturated. It makes it less saturated. All right, so if I go here, I click and hold, and I get the Dodge tool. I am going to paint on the bird. You see how it's, and then you see how the green is getting lighter, and if I keep painting over the same area, it keeps getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So you're basically like kind of dodging those colors. It's an old photographic technique that they used to do with like chemicals and stuff. I was not privileged enough to do that because I was I was in the PACE program, and they made me take all these classes, and I wanted to take photography, but they wouldn't let me take it because it don't fill my class. Well, you know how that goes, right? Because it was all academics, and I didn't really get to take the classes I wanted. I miss film analysis too. Never had that class. Should have taken it. But anyways, enough of me griping about my life. That is the Dodge tool. You're dodging the colors, okay? And then you're going to do the Burn tool. Again, it's going to get darker. Watch, I'm burning in these colors right here. You see, and if I keep going over the same spot over and over again, it gets darker and darker and darker. So again, Burn gets darker, Dodge gets lighter. To keep it simple, all right? There's probably a lot longer explanation than that, but you can see what's happening here. And then the next thing here is the Sponge tool. And the Sponge tool just basically does this. It kind of soaks up the colors. So if I do the Sponge tool here, you see that it kind of soaks up the color when I click and drag multiple times. Kind of soaks up the color, and it changes the lightness of that color. All right, it's becoming less saturated. So I'll do Command Z here, and I'll go over to this guy sitting on the rock here and watch his pants. It looks dark blue, but once I brush it with the sponge tool a few times, you see how it gets like more light blue-ish? Okay, so it's soaking up some of that dark blue and leaving a little bit lighter blue. So that's the sponge tool. Okay, and again, take 5 minutes to mess around with these 3 tools and then move on to the next part of this video. So I'm going to keep going because I want to keep the video short and I want to keep moving right along. Now, when you create thumbnails, it should be consistent. All right, now I took, if you were in class, I would ask you for your favorite YouTubers. All right, and one YouTuber was recommended. It's called You Know Me. And I think that's a play on words, like you know me, right? I have no idea what this Korean group does, but I do understand their thumbnails. Look at this. Look at how consistent it is, okay? You can see they use these light colors, and then they have these white strokes around it, and there's always people on their thumbnail, and then these two are kind of off, a little bit different, but you can see the consistency in their thumbnails. And if you go to my channel, you can see the consistency in my thumbnail that I'm trying to create. This is what I do right here. I have this top part, this bottom part, what it says, and then I have this gradient color, and then I do a cutout of something, right? So that is what I like to do for my thumbnails. This is like a low quality photo, so I get a low quality thumbnail. But you know what? It is what it is, and sometimes I just, I get lazy too, and I don't. And then sometimes I do it really good, like this. Okay. So my goal is to show you some tricks and techniques of how to utilize the cut tools and opacity and blend options. Okay. So this next part is relatively a little bit more advanced, but you know what? You might as well just learn it now. Okay. So I'm going to go to Photo P. I'm going to go to this practice thumbnail, and then for you, you can start with whatever you want, whatever images you want. But I do have to warn you that if you are going to make money off of this, you need to make sure you're using images that are royalty free. But if you're using this for educational purposes and you're not making money off of it, it's just for learning, you're in the clear. Don't trip. You can use whatever you want, as long as you can find it on Google. Okay? All right. Again, don't try to make money off this or else you'll get in trouble. Okay, so the next thing here is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Open. Actually, I'm going to go to Open in Place. All right, File. Actually, just Open. And then I'm going to go to my thumbnail. So here's my thumbnail here on my, it's for my Vimeo review right here. And then I have my original thumbnail that I exported from this right here. I exported that frame. And then I'm going to open that. And it's already a 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio, or actually a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, but it's blown up to be 1920 by 1080 if you want to get nerdy about it. The next thing here is I'm going to do my cutout of these things. And then when I cut it out, I use this tool right here. I use the quick selection tool. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so that way I can just click and drag here and I get, it did a pretty good job, I'm going to hold Option, and remember when you hold Option, you get the negative, the minus sign. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to hold down Option to remove this small part right here. And I'm going to hold Option and I'm going to remove this dark part right here. And I'm going to pray that when I hold Option and I click this, see how it takes everything out from here as well. So I'm going to pray one more time and try it again. I guess I have to just do it a little bit at a time like this. Okay. Oh, shoot. Way out there. No, I don't want it. Hold Option. Okay, I don't want that. Okay. I'm holding Option to cut this. I'm just clicking this area right here. Oh, no. All right. Just clicking this area, what I want right here. I'll hold Option. Remove all this area right here. Just click on this because this is what I want. I want the hand. I want the hand. This finger part right here. Okay, cool. That side's good enough. I'm not going to do this perfect because I can do this all day long, and that's not what I want to do. Okay, and I'm gonna click right here and hopefully just get that part, get this part, get that. All right, oh, got that part up there, don't want that. Click here, click here. Oh, didn't want that, Command Z. I'll click right here. Okay, I got a good enough cutout, all right? So this is good enough for me. Okay, this is good enough. I think you get the point. I can do this all day long. Like I said, I'll zoom back out. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this cutout, this selection, and make a new layer. Here's a new layer right here. Click on that. And then I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to go to Copy. And then I'm going to go to this layer. Oh wait, I'm supposed to copy this cutout first. I'm going to copy this cutout. I have to select this layer. So I can go to Edit. I can go to Copy. And then I can go to the layer on top right here. And I'll do fingers. Okay. And then I renamed it. I'm going to call that one fingers and paste. And then what happens here is if I click this eye icon down here, that's my cutout. Again, like I said, it's not meant to be perfect. It's just good enough, okay, to prove a point. And then, so now that I've made that copy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another layer, okay, and I'm going to call this one color layer. All right. I just double click into it, and then I can rename the layer. I'm going to reorganize this and restack it, okay, because I want this one on top. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use what we did last time, which is like the paint bucket tool, right? I'm going to dump color in there. So where's the paint bucket tool? Right here, paint bucket tool. And then I'm going to make sure this color layer is selected. I'm going to dump, I don't know, fine, I'll do green, okay? See how everything is super green and it blocks this bottom layer called background right here. So what I do is I change the opacity and it'll be more see-through green. And bam, I have my green color right there. That is what you do. And then if you want to change the fill, it affects it as well. So you can mess around with the fill and the opacity on this paint bucket layer. That's the color layer. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my shape tool right here. And then I'm going to make like a rectangular thingy here. And it looks like this. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to duplicate that layer by clicking and dragging down here. All right. And then I can click that shape, move it down at the bottom, like so. But I kind of want it to be on top of the hand, so both of these should go on top of the hand. All right. And then I can change the opacity to, I don't know, like, I guess 56%. And I'll click on this layer on top right here. I'll change that one to roughly 56%. Okay. And then what I can do now is I can go to the text tool and then click on the text tool. I click in here, all right? And then I'm going to make sure that this text is a certain size, a certain kind of text, and that it's centered. And then I'm going to type in, I can change the color, right? I got yellow here, but you know, I don't want yellow, I want white, okay? I'll click on that. So I'm gonna type in Vimico battery review, and then I will highlight this text. Oh, I don't need to highlight that text. What I want to do is I want to move that text layer just down a little bit. So I go to the move tool, select that text layer, and I'm gonna, instead of click and drag, I'm going to click down, 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 or hold down until this text is where I want it to be. All right, so I want it right there. Of course, I'm gonna add text down here. You get the point, right? You just keep adding layers and reorganizing it, restacking it, so on and so forth. But here's the new thing that I want to show you is this thing called blend option. So what you do is you right click on that text layer and you go to blend option, and then you can go to stroke. And then what you can do is you can click, check mark the stroke, click on the stroke, and then you can change the color of the stroke. Let's say I want the color of the stroke to be I don't know, light blue or something like that. Oh, blue, no, light blue. Okay, let's go light blue, like turquoise blue or something like that. That's not dark enough. Let's go with a darker color. That's too dark. All right, let's go with a lighter color. Alright, you can do this all day long because it's like dark on dark, so you kind of want light. So maybe I can go yellow. Alright, maybe I'll go to yellow, something like that, like right here. Okay, and then click OK, and then I can change the size of this stroke. Maybe I just want just enough like that, and then I can change the opacity, how much see-through, right? Okay, and then I can change the fill color, gradient, whatever you want to do. Just get creative and have fun with this. I'll click OK. All right, so then I have something that looks like this. And let's say I want the fingers to pop out, right? And I want like highlights around it. You can, again, go to blend option, right click, blend options, and then click on this. Click on stroke. You can mess around with all these other things. Just mess around. Like, I want you to explore. Okay? That is what art is. It's just an exploration, and you'll stumble on something, and people will love you for it. And then go to red, maroon, something like that. And then I can go here and change the size, right? I can change the opacity, and I'll click OK. Oh, I need to change the color first. And then I can go to the size and mess around. And then I can change the opacity and mess around. Okay, you can do all kinds of stuff. Click OK. But that is what you do. You just sit here, you explore, you mess around. Eventually you find something that you can be consistent with. And then you can just go back. Like what I do is, all I do is replace the photo. And then everything else is already there. It's a template. Okay, you create a template for yourself, and then you stick to the template. That's it. So now it's just you taking the time to create this thumbnail. Again, let me reiterate. You can be artistic, very artistic. I love this one. You can do this one, which is, funny. You can do this one, which is like kind of wholesome and like, this is who I am, and I'm just a happy, nice person. And then this one right here is like, yes, I'm very clean, I'm very organized, and I love numbers, and like photography, I eat these kind of food. So whatever you want to do is up to you for this thumbnail, and take into consideration a bunch of these things down here. It is due Saturday, October 31st on Halloween, but I recommend that you get it done ASAP, so that way you don't forget to turn this in on Saturday. Well, next Saturday, not this Saturday. All right, so okay, so I'm gonna say goodbye, but before I say goodbye, I gotta do my spiel at the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or just leave a thank you in the comments down below, because your boy Mr. Heng is doing this on his own free time. Feel me? And then whatever you want to use, whatever you want to know about what equipment I use for making tutorials like this, and generally what equipment I have, period. And I have to put the T in there because you got to do that right nowadays. It'll be old sooner or later. Use the links down below in the description, and it will give me some commission money. It's no extra charge to you. Amazon will send me some money through commission, and I will use that money to improve, upgrade, fix stuff that breaks in the classroom, or buy memory cards, stuff like that, stuff like we need real quick, where we don't have to like fill out a bunch of paperwork and then try to get the equipment. Because I've had that happen before, where I've got to go buy 2 small camcorders for students to go use so that they can make money and they get paid to go out and work and stuff like that, because they're just trying to make some side income doing broom production. Okay? All right, well, now I'm going to say goodbye. Get your hands ready? Rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video.